Well, hello everyone. Editing Val here at the top of this episode and the following several episodes to bring you an announcement. Facebook has permanently disabled me and I am unable to access the Motherhood Experience page on Facebook. As a result, we will no longer be having posts or a presence there. If you would like to hear the whole story behind this situation, there is a blog post on the motherhoodexperience.com. You can go over there and read all about it. I am still active on Instagram and YouTube at this time. However, this brings to light something that I feel like I need to bring to you, and that is the only guaranteed way for me to stay in touch with you is if we can email one another. In case Instagram or YouTube also randomly decide to permanently disable me, I would encourage you to head to themotherhoodexperience.com/learn more. There you can just enter your name, email address, and when or if any of these things happen in the future, I can get in touch with you that way. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Motherhood Experience. These stories are powerful, wonderful, and deserve to be heard. And with that, let's get into our episode. You're listening to the Motherhood Experience, a podcast where you are part of the conversation with moms, for moms, and by moms. Let's jump into this episode with me, your host, Val Kleppen. Happy Labor Day Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back to the Motherhood Experience podcast. Today, September 3rd, 2024, happens to be World Beard Day. Coming off of a holiday weekend, I thought, why not have Mr. Val, as he's known in some circles, come on the podcast. My bearded Prince Charming. I actually didn't think I could pull it off. I didn't think he would agree to it. And he did, because he's amazing. So this podcast is just the two of us talking about his role in the motherhood experience, getting started, talking with him about his amazing beard. And this was a lot of fun. We haven't done anything like that. In fact, after we hit stop, I said, this was the most fun I've ever had with you doing something like this. And then we were reminiscing other times in years past where I wanted to make something cute or clever with him. And then we just ended. It didn't happen. But it happened today. And I'm so glad. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing you today to the man behind the motherhood experience, my husband, father of my children, Mr. Brent Kleppen. Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the Motherhood Experience podcast, where I am joined by my producer and what else? Husband. That's an important one.
Yeah.
Brent.
I guess I do pay for it, so I am the producer.
This podcast does not generate any money, but it does generate a lot of interest and a lot of discussion. So I use this guy right here to pay the bills. And today is September 3rd, World Beard Day. For obvious reasons, I have what?
It's not September 3rd.
It will be when it airs. Oh, okay. For obvious reasons, I have asked him to be my guest on this momentous holiday, international holiday. Brent, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for
Good.
asking.
Thank you for joining me on the Motherhood Experience
It's great
podcast.
to see you again.
Okay. I normally start every episode with ages and stages of kids and stage of parenting you're in, but nobody cares about that for this one. What I would like to do instead is ask you, do you remember when I came to you about the podcast, when I came to you with the idea?
Vaguely, as I remember most things, yes.
Right. So it was a really long time ago, a year. It was a year ago. And I was sick with a very unique sore throat, I like to describe it as. Unlike any sore throat I had had before, I was in bed listening to podcasts, and I thought, gosh, it would be so fun to have a podcast. But just because I can talk about anything doesn't mean that I should. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right.
It's going to be a great podcast.
Yeah. And so then I had a dream that night that I was hosting a podcast. And the next morning I was like, okay, Lord, was that just because I was listening to podcasts, or is that you? And after I asked the question, I got like this download of a plan almost. And you were here in the office working, and I emailed you the plan. Do you remember getting the email? And you replied and you were like, I love this and I want to hear more about it. Can you hand me what's on that printer over there? I prepared for this. So I sent you, the subject was old idea, new conversation. This was a Saturday. Oh, why were you in the office on a Saturday?
Who knows?
The plot thickens. So old idea, new conversation. I said, I think I want to do this, but I need your input and approval and probably your help to get it implemented. All of those ended up being true. And then here's my ideas. And it was going to be about, I wanted to call it Midwest Mom, but that domain was taken. I want to talk about homeschooling, parenting, a little homesteading involving the kids and family, interview based with other Midwest moms, I put in quotes. Anyway, I did this whole thing, emailed you, and you replied 3 things. Number 1, I support this. Would like to hear more before I'm all in, which coming from you, that's a really big deal. I was expecting this won't work, and here's why.
That's my standard go-to answer,
yeah,
for most things.
So why did you support it?
You have a talent for being entertaining to people in a certain demographic. We've talked about in the past. And I thought that would be a good avenue for you to exercise that skill.
Yeah. Yeah. And then your second point was that domain name is taken, Midwest Mom. You had already looked into it though, which I appreciate. Like you took initiative right away.
Yeah, because I knew you wouldn't have.
Right. No.
Because you don't know how.
It's not that I don't know how. I just don't, it's not important to me right then when I'm creating ideas.
Right.
And dreaming. That's your job. So then we were trying to think of names, and you were coming up with a lot of names, and I didn't like any of them. Do you remember that?
Not like you do.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that I'm the one who named your podcast.
No, what? Really? Because how I remember it happening is I didn't like any of the names you were coming up with, and I thought, why is he trying to name this motherhood podcast? He has no motherhood experience. And then I was like, that's it. That's it. It's the motherhood experience.
Yeah.
How do you remember it?
I don't really. I do remember throwing out several different things and shooting down a lot of yours because they were silly. And I don't remember specifically the ones that I came up with, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure I named it, but my poor memory isn't going to help me out.
No. Well, just like when you were a kid, did you ever think like
do you remember the ones I shot down?
No. Do you?
When I was a kid, what?
Well, when you were a kid, did you ever be like in an argument with someone? You're like, when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask God and we're going to see who's right about this.
No.
My sister and I did that all the time.
I knew that once I was in heaven, I wouldn't care about such petty things. At a young age, I understood that.
Okay. Well, do you remember some of the ones you shot down?
I don't.
I think I remember Midwest Mom was a big one. And you were like, you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself to the Midwest. But somebody else already did, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And oh man, there were several pigeonhole type names that Motherhood Experience is pretty pigeonholy, but
like
it worked out.
The Christian Homeschool South Dakota Mom Podcast. That wasn't one of them. That would have been
that's very limiting.
You got to find your niche.
Yeah.
So then we decided on the Motherhood Experience, and you looked for the domain. It was available. Do you remember what happened as soon as you clicked the purchase button?
No.
My sore throat went away immediately. This was life-changing in our household and a big moment.
Wow.
I'm glad to remind you of it all over again.
It's like Zechariah.
I feel like it was meant to be though, because it truthfully, I was laid up for like 3 days with the sore throat. As soon as you clicked purchase on you said, am I doing this? I said, and I went back and forth. I was like, I don't know. And I said, yes, let's go for it. And you hit purchase. The transaction went through. My sore throat completely went away.
That's a sign.
Yeah. Okay. And for the longest time, you would refuse to listen to a single episode.
Correct.
Would you mind telling the listeners why you wouldn't?
Well, I am a terribly critical human being. And I felt like, and I'm also chronically honest. And so I thought if I listened to it and I hated it, you would find out. And I didn't want to crush your spirit in that way. So I figured I would just avoid it altogether.
Yeah. I also went into it knowing that no matter if it was good or bad, that you would probably hate it. And so I couldn't, I just couldn't.
That wasn't a barometer no matter what.
Right. I couldn't weigh your response or your reaction because it wouldn't be your thing, and you would have your own ways of thinking it could have been better.
Sure.
But then one day, I think I was working on something on the computer in the bedroom, and you came in, you had your headphones on, you're working on something, and you came in and you just started talking to me about, so when Annette and Maddie went to the bathroom with that little book and then came out, I can see the look on Patrick's face when he said, you mean this? I can see it. And I was so confused, and I was looking at you and I was like, yeah, I could see it too. And then I said, are you listening to the Motherhood Experience? And you went, yeah, it's not terrible. And then you turned and walked out.
Yeah.
It's not terrible coming from Brent Kleppen is a really big compliment.
Yeah, I don't think I asked it that way. It wasn't a question. It was, it's not terrible, or it's not terrible.
That's what I said.
Maybe
you said.
That's how I said it. I don't know.
That's not a question.
Let me get this right.
How many episodes have you listened to?
I don't know. I'm probably a dozen behind right now. At least.
That's more than I thought. I bet you're way more behind than that.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. And you're not a listener of it. Sometimes if you have nothing else to do, or if you know someone.
I don't know. The mood has to hit me just right. That critical spirit has to depart for a time. And then I can do it.
Yeah. Well.
But I mean, I'm, like I said, the whole reason I supported you in the first place is, you're a natural at this kind of thing. And I thought you would do well. And I thought it might take off because, I joke about you having a niche audience.
Yeah.
Of middle-aged women. And so this podcast would really hit the spot.
Sure enough.
In that category. But yeah, I knew you would do well.
That's very sweet.
I just didn't want to run the risk that maybe you weren't.
Maybe I'd bomb and be like, I tried.
Well, but I knew I would have to listen to it eventually. I mean, I can't. We gotta support you somehow, I suppose, eventually.
Yeah. Also, Brent's dad, my father-in-law, sweetest man ever, listens to every single episode. And he'll text me about some of them. If he doesn't text me, I'm like, man, this week's, it must not have hit. This week's must have been.
With the male
with my
listener group. Of which there are 2.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right. Mostly 1. Sometimes 2. Yeah, no, he's very sweet though. And I told him, I said, your dad listens to every episode. And you were like, he's a better man than I am.
It's true.
Also, there was, where was I going to go? Oh, you have said before that listening to the podcast is basically like listening to my side of the phone conversation when I'm talking to my sister on the phone.
Yeah.
Unpack that for me.
What's there to, it's, I don't have much of a life. So I live vicariously through your social connections.
Yeah.
And so Yeah, when you're on the phone with your sister, I'm like, ooh, what's the tea? What's up? What's going on? And so, yeah, when I listen to your podcast, I get to hear both sides. That's definitely going to be unique to just me, as far as your listenership is concerned.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's two people eavesdropping or being eavesdropped upon by people who are interested in the conversation.
Yeah, I feel like phone calls with my sister is just me laughing the whole time, though. I don't.
There's a lot of that, and that's when I walk away.
Yeah, he's had enough. No more of that. Yeah,
you get out of control sometimes.
Yeah, she's pretty funny, and plus, like, sometimes you just get going, and it's hard to rein it in.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the ones that you've listened to so far? Do you have any favorite guests?
No. Not.
Your daughter, Haley?
Uh-huh.
Did you listen to that one?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
She did really well.
She did. She's got some natural ability in that.
Yeah.
That respect as well.
Her niche audience is a little younger than mine.
Star of stage and stage.
Yeah. Theater, drama. That's big for her. Is there anything that you hope I can achieve or accomplish with regard to the podcast?
I just hope that you can keep it going and keep having fun. And, if it could pay for itself, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any expectations. I hope you get to keep doing it and, keep having fun with it.
Has it been a challenge or a burden for you? Like, when I do podcast interviews, like, it's got to be quiet. You either have to be gone or keep the kids reined in and the dog reined in. Like, has that been frustrating for you at all?
No, only in the sense that I have to take the kids to Taekwondo a lot, or youth and Awana, and it's fine. I don't really mind that, but it's nice to not have to do that once in a while.
Yeah, I get that.
But even when we're here and you're recording, it's usually not that big a deal. We go watch Clone Wars or read a book or something. It's not like we get a lot of traffic out here, so the dog's usually pretty good.
Yeah. Remember when she used to bark at every train? I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
It's much better now.
Yeah, she's getting up there.
Yeah.
Getting a little older, maturing.
So for the moms listening who in some capacity they have a man in their life of some sort, what? Well, because like not all of them are going to be married,
Sure.
To get a beard like yours, I mean, you are complimented on your beard everywhere we go, by everyone we meet. Other men with beards will approach you and tell you how nice your beard is.
Yeah. I think you're exaggerating a little bit.
No.
Not everyone we meet. It's only ever men and the occasional old lady at the grocery store.
But other women talk to me about how nice your beard is.
Well,
they might not tell you.
They should start talking to me about it.
No.
That's
pushing some boundaries.
No, it's not.
It's not. Anyway, for their own men that they can talk to freely, what are your tips for a nice looking beard?
I don't know. I know a lot of guys struggle to grow it at all, and or they grow it to a certain point and it gets too itchy and they girl out and shave it. That's the number one.
You threaten that often.
Those are the two main reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not because it's itchy, just because it's like it's a pain in the butt to maintain. I can't shower at night because I have to wake up. Because when I wake up, my beard is everywhere. So I have to shower in the morning so I can do my beard.
I know, but that's the same with me and my hair. And I'm never like, I'm just going to shave my head.
Because you look ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying.
That hurts.
That came out a little too quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it did.
My wit was in fifth gear right then.
Or your honesty.
Oh, no.
Every joke has a little grain of truth in it.
A little truth there. So when we were engaged, you had a goatee. and I loved it, and I begged you to keep it for the wedding day, and you were like, "No, it's not me. It's not who I am."
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what I was trying to say was, goatee is a temporary thing. It's not something that, 40 years from now, I'm going to look completely different. And see, now I have a full beard, not a goatee.
I know.
Not a bald face.
Do you think, though?
Your bald face is your most genuine, honest face, I think.
I don't think so. See, I think this is with the beard. We should do a poll. I think this is with the beard because it shows like this is what your face is truly capable of. This is like this not because not every guy has this.
It's not pulling women out of burning houses. I mean, it's
well, that's not what your
saving
face is
puppies
capable of either.
Whatever.
No, but some guys can't do this.
So, what does that mean?
So, like, you need to take pride in the fact that your beard is so amazing. Do you think when you had a goatee,
I don't know about that.
When you had a goatee, why didn't you grow a full beard at that time? Was it an age thing?
Beats me. I don't.
You were early 20s.
Growing a beard never even occurred to me. I think, goatees were in fashion at the time. And I don't know. I think growing a beard would have been, like, the idea would have been ridiculous to me at the time.
How did you start growing a beard ever then?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know when I started growing it.
I don't either.
2017-ish, maybe even before that. But I didn't start growing this until
COVID.
March of 2020.
Yeah.
When they sent us all home, and I was like, well, let's see what a beard's like.
I think we were
a
still
real full long beard.
I think we were still in our Fargo house when you grew your first beard. I think Haley was like little.
I remember doing a really bad shave job where it was like way up on my cheeks almost. Like, oh, I messed that up.
You had a trimming accident not very long ago also.
Yeah, last spring. Well, like spring of 23.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah.
It wasn't just this year?
No.
Oh, wow. But yeah, you keep, I think it was this year.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't think it was. Doesn't matter.
You have grown your beard a lot longer. Your beard was really long at one point.
It was really long.
Yeah.
Like 21.
Like a Phil Robertson beard.
Yeah. But now I have a guy in Fargo. When I'm in Fargo for work, I go to the guy and he trims it up. It looks nice.
Yeah.
I prefer that. I don't like it being everywhere.
Yeah. Is it like when you say it's a lot of work to maintain it, or what does it entail? What does showering in the morning for your beard?
When it's trimmed nice, it's not as much work, but like, if you let it grow out, my beard, and I'm sure a lot of guys are like this, but my beard likes to grow 8 different directions. And so, you got to brush it when it's wet. And so, and then it'll dry in the direction you want it to, more or less. But if you just, I just roll out of bed, pretty tough to get that tangle under control.
Do you have to use product in it?
I don't have to. I put oil in it. I guess I don't know why. It's recommended. I couldn't tell you what it's for. There's also beard balm, but that's almost like the gel that I wore in 6th grade. I don't really like that stuff.
Oh.
But the beard oil, I don't know if it relaxes it or just makes it shine or
moisturizes it, maybe
keeps it from getting split in. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's for, but everybody says you should do it. So
does it make your face hotter?
Well, maybe that's what it's for, is for moisturizing your face too, because
like
what's going on.
Like really get it in there.
Yeah. Well, you rub it in and it eventually gets everywhere.
Oh.
I think.
Does having a beard make your face hotter?
I don't know. Probably. I know, like, when I shave my head, I have to wear a beanie sometimes, even though it's like 75 degrees, because my head just feels so cold.
Mm.
I'm sure my face would be the same if I shaved.
Do you
And
legitimately?
I don't even have much hair. So when I shave my head, I'm not really taking that much off, but it's still, you notice it.
Yeah, because all your hair is right on your face.
No.
Yeah. It would be weird, like if beards had bald spots.
I'm sure some do. But those guys shave because it's embarrassing.
You're probably
But
right.
you think they're less than.
Right. Well, do you ever like legitimately want to shave and just have a clean face?
Yeah, all the time.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
something different.
It's like I said. It's effort to maintain this, and you know, I'm in a professional occupation. Sometimes I feel like I'm not as professional looking as I should be.
But I think anyone who sees your beard is like, if there's going to be a professional guy with a beard, it's got to be this. Look at the camera. I mean, everybody, look at the beard. Look at it.
Yeah, doesn't this look like the guy that's going to give you a mortgage?
But you're not in mortgage
well, I know
lending.
I'm not in mortgage, but that's the first thing that pops into my mind when I think professional.
Yeah, no, this is a guy who's going to say, "Did you try turning it off and turning it back on again?"
Yeah, well, not quite that either.
But even for that, you're super professional looking with the beard. You get complimented on it all the time. If we were to show up, there are people here who have never seen you without a beard.
Everybody here.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you were to show up and you did not have your beard, chaos.
Wonder who the new guy is.
Chaos would ensue.
Yeah.
There was one time back in Fargo, the first time I straightened my hair when we were attending Salem, and people did not recognize me. And I would tell them, I'm Brent Kleppin's first wife.
It's funny because it's true.
It is true. Yeah. And they didn't know who I was because I straightened my hair. If you shaved your beard, how come we didn't straighten your beard? Remember when we were going to try that?
Probably because I don't want a beard or a hair straightener that close to my face.
Yeah. We could do it though. It would be a totally different look for your beard.
Yeah.
Just to try it.
Wreck it.
It might. We could. Maybe we won't try it.
To shave.
We won't leave well enough alone. All right. Well, if you could encourage any mom out there, this is how I wrap up episodes. Yeah. I don't know what to do. In getting their man to show what his face can do. Maybe he should just start with a mustache, start there, grow into the goatee.
Let him do what he wants.
Yeah.
And, most of the moms out there, like you, I would never let my husband grow a beard. And some of them encourage their husbands to remove their facial hair, and I think that's a crime.
Yeah, I feel like I have always loved your facial hair. Yeah. I wanted you to keep that goatee.
Wives don't let their husbands cut their facial hair. That's also bad. What? Why are you laughing?
Some don't have anything to do with whether they let or not. It's just their opinion is very well established.
Yeah, the consequences are also
well
known.
That are what? I'm going to stare at you and say, I can't believe you did that. That's a consequence.
That is a consequence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it keeps you motivated to keep your beard, I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah. I'm sure there are other consequences.
What is it called? Unintended consequences?
Yeah.
Right. Well, here we are, babe, a year later.
Yeah.
You supported it.
This is going to go down as probably your best podcast ever.
Most downloads.
Yeah.
Most downloads on this one right here. World Beard Day.
It's a crossover event.
I don't even know. I needed an episode. I wanted to do one with you for World Beard Day. It's really hard for me to say those three words.
World Beard Day.
Thank you. I wanted 2024. One thing that we were going to do when I started the podcast, I was like, Brent, you gotta record my intro because you got the voice for it. But then I was like, it's weird to have a deep bass voice introducing a motherhood podcast.
Right. That's why we didn't do it.
Yeah. If you did do it though, what would it sound like?
It would be great.
No, I want you to like run through it.
I don't know. I can't on the spot. No, not gonna.
You're listening. I don't even know what my intro is.
To the Motherhood Experience podcast.
Yeah, I don't even know how my intro starts.
A podcast for mothers and by mothers.
For moms, by moms, and with moms. Is that what it is?
Next to moms. And mom adjacent.
You're nailing it right now. I love it.
Everyone should listen to it because it's great.
No, but do it with your reading voice.
No.
Just say thanks for listening to the Motherhood Experience, but in your voice.
You can't be serious about it now. Thanks for listening to the Motherhood Experience.
Yeah. See, he does actually do the voice intro and outro for a different podcast. Mm-hmm. And the guy who heard you do it was like, I don't know who you got to do that, but I would recommend him to anyone in a heartbeat.
And I'm available.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's available for voice work.
Yeah. I've never done it before, and I don't know how to even get paid.
But this guy has been in the industry for like years, and he's like, whoever that guy is that did the intro and outro, I want him to do stuff. You got the voice for it.
You did. Okay.
What?
No, we can have this conversation offline. But if he actually said that, I'm here. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he knows how to get a hold of you, though, because you're my husband.
Well, then he must not have been too serious.
Well, there's just nothing available. Like, he's not like an agent. He's just like...
just a guy who records things.
If I were doing this stuff and this guy was in Fargo, maybe we could work together.
Well, maybe we should.
You should start your own podcast. You did threaten it once.
I'm doing so great at this one.
Yeah. You threatened that you were going to start a podcast called The Motherhood Experience Exposed.
Motherhood Experience Exposed.
And you were going to...
just summarize all the baloney and correct the record.
For example...
I can't remember. This is where my memory fails me so frequently, but I know that if whatever the episode was, I think it was the one with Kimberly. I don't know. I would have to take notes.
There was the one I did with Bridget, I think, is the one that you mentioned where I talked about cleaning the bathroom. Oh,
yeah. Right. Because in our entire marriage, I could probably count on one hand the number of times you've cleaned the bathroom.
The number of times you know about that I have.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'd notice.
That's harsh.
And yeah, but there's a little kernel of truth.
I clean the bathroom a lot, but there is one part of the bathroom I don't do.
The bathtub?
We're going to edit this part out. Whoa, okay.
The floor? Which part?
The toilet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, if you come to our house and you use the bathroom, you can thank Brent for how clean it is because he's the guy. He's got the voice and he's got the Mr. Clean motivation for the bathroom.
Yeah, but not the hair.
No. Well, but Mr. Clean is bald.
Exactly. He doesn't have a beard.
Right.
He's clean all the way around.
Yeah. You're the Mr. Clean with the beard. Isn't that what I said?
We'll have to roll back the tape.
Well, this has gone downhill fast, but thank you for supporting me from the very beginning.
My pleasure.
It meant a lot.
Yeah.
I love you.
I'm proud of you. I love you.
Let's try that again. I love you.
Yep. Same. Ditto.
Found it.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the Motherhood Experience podcast. To join our exclusive TME community, head over to themotherhoodexperience.com/learn more. Be sure to follow the Motherhood Experience on Instagram and please leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment below and we'll catch you next time.